vetting your partners and vetting the right people, you got to date. And sometimes the dating doesn't work out. You have to have more candor than you ever think possible. So you think about these relationships with the people that you're doing business with. It's like a marriage. We learned a ton in due diligence, and it stopped us from buying a couple parts.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Be the Connection podcast, where we dive into stories of community, mentorship, and success. My mission is to bring you inspiring conversations, real insights, and the kind of value that helps you grow. So grab a seat, settle in, and let's get connected. Hey everyone, my name is Bea, and welcome to Be the Connection, where we share stories of community, mentorship, and success. And today's guest, man, we go way back when I first started SubTo, learning along the same area of where I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go with this area, but she took off in it. And that's a huge role. A lot of it is the foundation of what we do in real estate, and it's underwriting. She took off from there. So I'm going to let her talk about who she is and where she is right now and what she's doing. Guys, welcome, Erika. Thank you so much for coming on. Oh my goodness, I see you doing so many things, and especially you and Jason. I had Jason on the show, and you guys are killing it. So tell everybody who you are and what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so thank you for the great intro, B. I am Erika Bates, and currently what I'm doing is sitting at my RV park and we're turning over operations. So Jason and I have journeyed into RV park buy and hold ownership, and we're cap raising for that and all the things related to turning over businesses. In my 20s, I ended up dating a contractor and marrying him. And if anybody knows anything about dating a contractor, you become a contractor just to date them because they're always doing side hustles and jobs, especially in your 20s. So he taught me how to do finish work. So I learned how to install trim, do varnish, painting, install tile, wood floors, hang drywall, everything you can think of in the construction space. He was a jack of all trades. So from there, I became interested in real estate because we had flipped our own houses. And then fast forward, I moved to Colorado. We end up getting a divorce, and I meet Jason. And Jason comes to me one day and he goes, I want to get into real estate. I was like, me too, because I had been thinking about it and I wanted to get back into it. So from there, he bought his first fourplex, which caused him to move to Colorado and be with me. And we house hacked it. And that was, he lived in one unit and then we rented out the other 3 units. Fast forward, we don't know where to go from here. We're going to run out of credit and our own cash. How do we continue investing? And we stumble across Pace Morby and we joined the community in November 22. And quickly, it was the education that we got from there that accelerated our path forward. We bought 3 more houses, 2 seller finance, 1 SubTo that year. And then Jason, as you know, became a transaction coordinator, and I leaned into the underwriting side. And it was a natural fit for me because, for those that don't know, my background is finance. When I was trying to figure out where I wanted to be in my career, I took the easy way out. Math was a language I understood. So I went and I got my accounting degree. And that was the first degree. And I never attended class. I just got straight A's in it. Then throughout my career, I continued to be in these data analytics roles where I had to learn how to data mine hundreds of thousands of lines of data. And that prepared me well for being an underwriter and being able to evaluate deals. So once I learned those skills and practiced and honed it, it's fun for me, and it's kind of a game to figure out where the value adds are and how to make it profitable.
They definitely tell a story for sure. And I think a lot of people have difficulty understanding that story because all they want to see is just the profit. It's like, no, there's more to it.
Well, they want to see the profit. And sometimes what that happens with that is you blindside yourself because you get too optimistic on what the profit can be. And you have to have a balance of realism with a balance of vision. And how do you get those two aligned to give the best projection? And I've messed up too. That was what happened with our first fourplex is I was learning the process. And so we ended up getting into it. Property management was harder than we thought it would be, and we couldn't keep the unit occupied. Well, what happens to your profits when you can't keep it occupied? You start losing profit. Yeah, exactly. So instead, we figured out, once we learned the skills, we figured out a creative solution. We ended up selling off that unit and gave it to somebody more qualified to handle it than we were.
Yeah, man. And I mean, just in general, so you guys figured, okay, something's going on. We need to change things, right? You found a solution and you guys took it and you ran with it. So him transaction coordination, you underwriting. And so from there, you figured those were stepping stools to guide you into the next field, right? And look at you guys now. So that was the initial push, right? So what was just the initial push that made you guys just jump into real estate in general?
It was a desire for something more and to invest our dollars wisely. Both Jason and I were successful career people. And I say was because he's now not in the corporate world and I still am. And we're better than six-figure earners. We have established careers, we have reputations in our fields. And both of us had been through situations where it was still like, we're not investing our dollars wisely. Are we really prepared for retirement? And so we started looking at real estate because real estate is a very profitable place to put your dollars. It always seemingly has a cycle. Every 5 to 15 years, you're going to exponentially grow your money.
And so how long would you say that took you guys? I mean,
I think it's going too slow. I have the lack of patience for it, to be honest, which is why we switched to RV parks. When we bought 3 properties in 1 year, that was impressive, holding a W-2 and doing that and learning how to stabilize assets when we did short-term rental and long-term rentals. But for me, it wasn't coming at the speed that I wanted to. So when I look at how fast we're growing, I'm going, okay, still, I want 4 more assets this year, 5 more assets this year, you know? So to me, I don't look at it as, okay, I'm really proud of where I came and I want to push harder.
yes, absolutely. Yes. Oh my goodness. You're able to reflect back where it is that you were, and you see where you are now and where you're going. And so that's really, really good. A lot of people I know just see where they're at and don't, and they see an endpoint, right? Where they want to be, but they don't ever just sit back and look back to see how far they've come. And so that reflection definitely helps. Don't sit in it too long. Just reflect back and know that you are making some type of progress.
Well, and you can go bigger than you think you can. And this is something that
Yes.
I worked on this last year. And I've hired people in my life that were coaches and I continue to do them. So last year with Michael Burnoff and Andreas Pedersen, some of the things that I didn't understand were my own value and what I was capable of. And so I was holding myself back saying, oh, I can get this. No, I know how big I can grow. And it's probably 10x, if not 15x, what I
Mm.
initially was going to go after because I was playing it safe and I was playing it stable. And I think you have to, if you're going to grow in this space, be willing to go all in and just go for it.
Yes. Do you think, because I know a lot of times when doing more of the analytics side and operations, really, you're looking at all the background stuff. And so,
I live in the background.
yes, do you see it more difficult? There's more difficulty pushing yourself outside of that area?
No, although it is my comfort zone. So when I look at the scalability and growth of our business, I can't be in this position doing all the things that I'm doing now in the future to be able to scale to where we want to be. So right now I'm taking it as a learning opportunity so that I understand it in our business. And then it's how do we replicate it and bring it forward. And some of that, what you're talking about in the operations side is I had to go with my business partner. We went and negotiated and we shopped around for which kind of point of sale systems and booking systems we were going to use. So that's the IT portion of it. So we went in with an enterprise network mindset, which is what I bring from my corporate life and he brings from his corporate life. And we said, this is how we're going to grow and scale with the different types of assets we're looking at. And so it's a singularity investment at a higher cost to get us faster growth. So now we can replicate it and we just each park we take over, it just keeps going. And it's the same in the underwriting. I love working with people that are just getting into this space. If you're a bird dog or if you're doing this and that, I want to show you step by step. How do you evaluate the deals? How do you look at it? And I don't have it all documented, but I want to sit with these people and put it out there and teach them because when we elevate each other in the space, we make the space better and we're doing better deals. So I just look at those things as ways to drive efficiencies and improve processes.
Yes. And I love that about you because I still remember a conversation on their phone where I was like, I'm trying to figure this out. And, there's so many different ways out there of how to underwrite. But you were like, yeah, some of those aren't really well suited for certain people. And you were able to differentiate, which ones are best suited, for you, for some of those people who you know personally. And that's one thing I really, really loved about you. And I was like, there's different ways. And this, I don't have to stick to this one. So I can go figure out other ways. Okay. So that really helps. So thank you.
I haven't heard that before. That's really good. And you're right.
Yes.
It's like that's the art side of it. So it's math and art, but there's multiple ways to skin the cat as long as you're getting to the same story. Math doesn't lie.
So good. So good. I love it. So tell me, oh, you guys are killing it now, right? You guys are just on this path and there's no stopping you. What were some of those challenges that, that you've really had to go through?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of the challenges, and we share about this somewhat on our social media, partnerships, vetting your partners and vetting the right people. We had a couple situations where you got to date, and sometimes the
Mhm.
dating doesn't work out. And we've had that happen. So is how do you date and find the right people? And what we learned through that process is that you have to have more candor than you ever think possible. So you think about these relationships with the people that you're doing business with. It's like a marriage.
Yes.
So, how do you go through that prenup and set it up so that you're all safe? How do you go through those conversations and saying, what happens when you're in difficult situations and under stress? And how do you handle that pressure? And how do you react to each other? So, that was an incredible learning that we had through this process. And then I would say the other side of it was how do you look at assets and through due diligence understand where the gaps are? And we learned a ton in due diligence, and it stopped us from buying a couple parks that we were under contract on because we couldn't make it work and we lost confidence in the deal. And that's the right thing to do, is pull back in those situations.
Yes. And so, obviously it's changed you as an investor and as a person. And it's also built, like you said, a marriage, right?
Mhm.
I think it's really neat because you and Jason, you guys figured out how to make it work, and you guys are married and you guys are doing it together. And so, there's some times where couples are still trying to figure it out, but that whole relationship side, when you have that down and then you're working at it together, you have kind of a clear view of what that expectation is going out into that dating scene for other investors, right? Other partnerships. Could you just talk a little bit more about that? Because I think that's important. People misconceive that a lot of times where they put a lot of emotion and a lot of just unnecessary drama into the mix too.
Well, and I would say we're all human, right? And we all have
Yes.
emotions and we all operate differently. And when things get tough, those emotions are going to come up. And that's how you pressure test a relationship. You do the same thing when you're entering with your spouse. It's about having the skills and the forums to communicate with each other. And that's one thing that I'm truly grateful for because I've done business with my spouse in the past and it was not as easy as this. And one thing that Jason and I have learned about each other is we go and we practice communication intentionally with professionals. And that's why we're in the Michael Burnoff community, because it gives us better tools. And as women, and I'm just going to generalize, as women, when we're in the workplace, I know for me, I have to bring a lot of more masculine type energy. I'm more powerful. I have to bring it forward. I'm negotiating and I am concise in what I need and
Yes.
I demand it. And the part that people forget is when you're with your spouse, you have to turn that off because they're
Yeah.
looking for your other side, the gentle side, the nurturing side, the feminine side, right? Like they can handle some of that masculine energy, but if you are bringing that into your marriage on a regular basis, that creates conflict between the two of you, in my opinion. And so Jason and I balance that with each other, and he allows me that space to let go of some of the things that are going on in our business. And when I ask for it, I'm respected in that way. And so we really help each other. And I bring him belief, which he hasn't had in prior relationships. So it's all those things that people just forget. I think once you get in here, because you're focused, you have a goal, you have drive, you have determination. And
Yes.
whether it's in your spousal relationship or whether it's in your business relationships, there's a human component that we need to go back to.
Yes, I love that because that's so important, especially for couples who are in business together and how it is to keep their marriage successful and then their business successful. So they're similar, they're not the same, they're similar, and they each have particular sides of us that we need to work on, right?
Yes.
And I love how you brought that up. And now, how has that, like, now you mentioned Michael Burnoff, right? And so for someone who perhaps hasn't, done a lot of research, could definitely look him up. But what about for you? What advice would you give someone who is in that position and trying to figure out where to kind of navigate the waters?
Yeah, it's honestly, we got to start asking for help from people who are doing it successfully. So if you're around people in the community, five closest people around you are the first reflection. How are they acting? How are they behaving? And if you're around people that are constant conflict, or I'm just going to say it, even negatively joking, oh, my spouse is a ball and chain, you're in the wrong audience. You need to be around people who are truly figuring out the communication and caring with each other and have that forward if that's what
Mm.
you want in your life. And so I see that as the starting point. And then it's, if you don't know, you don't know. We weren't all brought up with great examples of how to communicate. So you find people who are experts in the industry and you follow them. I started learning from Brenda Bouchard and Lewis Howes and different people through podcasting. There's resources out there. Just start looking.
Now that you said that, I recall because we grow up thinking like, okay, I definitely don't want the type of relationship that I grew up with. Now, what's better than that? And when we start looking, I think it's very, like you said, intention. So be intentional about what it is that you do want. Learn about what it is that you do want and first, right?
Right.
That's super, super good. And so, with all of this, I'm sure communicating with each other, with other people, and investors, that is how you build relationships and network, right?
Mhm.
And so, obviously, that's played a huge role with you guys and where you're at today. How has that been?
Well, you realize where you have to get in the right rooms to achieve your goals. And that I think is the biggest thing. So, Jason and I have had an incredible journey of opportunity over the past 12 months where we've been able to be in rooms with people who are making a difference in the community and aligning to them. You have to seek that out. And again, it's the dating thing. You're going to try out some groups, but don't be afraid to try it, because if you don't try them out, you're not going to figure out where you fit in.
Yes.
And for us, it was risking it and joining communities and learning from those leaders. And even now, I'm going to be a leader in the Corpus Christi area because I want to support local community, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what we're all about and getting involved.
And I love that y'all are here in Texas. So,
Thank you.
easy access.
Yeah. Well, I kind of. Texas is huge. People don't realize how
Yes.
big it is. It's like big because we're 3 hours apart now, but yeah, when there's meetups in Dallas and I'm down in the Corpus area, that's a 6.5 hour drive one way.
As you're going and as you're mobile now, how has that been with building those relationships in these areas?
Yeah. It's the challenge that I didn't expect coming from Colorado to Texas and being more mobile, because we are moving every 6 months, it seems like. Was in Colorado, I was always in the same house, same place. So if I wanted to get to a meetup, it was easier, because I just was around. Now that we've been traveling, whether it's for real estate or whatever, I'm learning we have to be really intentional about blocking that time to be able to get to those types of meetups. We haven't been able to, I think we were at one or two meetups in Texas since we've been here, which is disappointing. That's why I became a leader in Corpus Christi, because I want to be on that side of the state and I want to invest in that area. So it's been navigating that. And part of navigating that is we're getting help with our calendars. We're hiring somebody. She starts on Monday. She's going to be our assistant and she's going to help us. How do we intentionally block our
Yes.
time to do it so that we can be more efficient and make space for the things that we want to do, which is the travel and the meetups and socializing.
Yes. Yes, and that's good. I was jumping on that. I was going to ask, what's your approach to maintaining those relationships that you build when you go and travel?
I'm laughing because Jason is so much better with this than I am. So I kind of rely on him probably more so, but that's leveraging the strength in the relationship, right? Jason leads with
Yes.
relationships and I lead with execution. What I like to tell people about me, and the secret sauce, is that I'm always here. I get tunnel vision. So when I'm in a project, I'm just heads down in it and I forget to look at my peripheral. So if I get a tap on the shoulder, I absolutely love it because it pulls me out of that space. Jason's just a natural. He's constantly engaging with people and checking up. And so I rely on him to nurture those relationships.
Well, it's good. Now you're letting us know too. Hey, we need to go and tap on Erica's shoulder and go bug her a bit
Yeah.
if we haven't seen you for a while. So now I know.
I love that, and I think that's a good thing to know about people, right? Like, we have
Yes,
natural behaviors. I'm just such a heavy executor, I get stuck in execution mode.
that's good though. That's good. And that you're able to be self aware about it and share. Going through everything that you've gone through to this point, would you do anything differently?
There's always stuff that you shoulda, woulda, coulda, and I don't like looking at the shoulda, woulda, couldas. The
Mhm.
biggest thing that I wanna carry forward and continue to carry forward in the lessons I learned is that fear holds us back. So it's our imprint of the world that keeps us from taking action, and it's in the action and failure that drives your success. So we've been leaning into more of we're okay taking bigger risks. We're okay leaning forward into fear and the unknown. And it's about navigating that conversation in your own head,
Mhm.
honestly, to continue to strive for that growth. And I think, or I know that I've let that hold me back and slow me down in the past.
Yes. Oh, man. I feel that I am starting to recognize that very quickly. When you first realize there's so much growth and opportunity in yourself that, hey, why do I want to cut myself off
Right.
at a point? Like, no, you should just keep going. And so,
Right. And I think that's our map of the world. And I know that that is my default because for most of my adult life, I was a safety net. I had to be the stable one. I left my house when I was 19 and I said I'm never going back. I worked 3 jobs and went to college on my own. I made it happen. And even when I had kids, I was the breadwinner for the family and I made it happen. And so for me, it was realizing that I've been playing safe, which served me in the past. It's not going to serve me for the future I want. And that's the realization.
I'm like seeing all the different shots of you right now, just the beautiful, selfless Erica, just showing the world who she is finally. And I'm so happy I get to share that with everyone.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice that if someone's out there feeling lost or unsure where to start, what would you say to them?
Who do you see? I mean, all of us are on social media, right? Like, who do you see that's doing what you want to do? Tap them on the shoulder. And it's not about understanding why they got into it or anything like this. It's, hey, would you mind telling me how you got started? And then
Yes.
take their advice.
Thank you. Seriously, I love it. I love everything about this because everything that you're saying and that you're talking about, a lot of times we don't get to see that. And so we want to be able to know both perspectives on behind the scenes and the other side of the relationship, the other side of the partnership, and the other side of what our thoughts and feelings and actions can do to us. I just want to say thank you because I think there's so much value that people can take from this, where you're sharing so much of what it's like. What I see is that there's a lot of people out there who are just more like, nope, I'd rather just stick to this area. But how can I stick to this area and still succeed? And you are clearly showing them that it's possible, it's doable, there's a way to, and you just got to be comfortable and know who's around you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's to me, concentrated effort gets concentrated results. And we hear even in our community, Pace says that all the time, right? Like people get sparkly object syndrome and it's what throws them off. And I did it too, but I look at it as I was trying things on. And I'll give you an example is like somebody I admire in the community is Carolyn Kane. I think a lot of people admire what she's doing in our community. And so I was like, okay, this person is getting results and I want to know how she's getting results. So what do I start doing? I start attending the daily dials with her, the weekly dials and listening and trying to figure out what she's doing, how she's doing it, and I dove into all kinds of videos on how to do pre-foreclosure stops. And I got a few months into it and I go, holy cow, I have a demanding W-2 job and I have to spend how many hours on the phone with banks trying to stop the foreclosure process? It's not a fit for my life right now.
yes.
And I wasn't afraid to try it on and just learn about it and take that initiative and go, okay, I got my knocks. What is a fit? And it's those little lessons and little adjustments along the way that's going to drive that time of success.
Yes, absolutely. So it took some time, but you were okay with that. And
Yep.
that's the huge thing that I think people misconceive is that I got to just figure this out right now. It's like, no, I mean, you guys just started doing this a few years ago. Really?
It's 3 years this May. Yep.
It's like there's plenty of time. Don't just sit on it, but know that in all due time it will come as long as you just keep going.
And it's the going and the action, right? The learning about it
Yes.
doesn't serve you. So being a continual learner, you guys, you don't need to know everything. You just need to try it out.
Yes, exactly. See what fits. I love it. Oh my gosh. And so you guys are in Texas, and I'm sure we're definitely going to meet up a lot more now.
Yes.
For everyone listening out there, um, I love how you just shared with them too, because where you're like, start following someone where you're seeing what they're doing and learning from them. So that's something that I've done where it's like, how can I learn what it is that I want to do, be able to do everything, right? Everything that we do, it's a learning experience. Everything
Yeah.
that you've done to this point, you've learned how to underwrite from multiple people and figured out what fits for you, what version, right? What
Mhm.
method, learning how to communicate, especially learning what type of partnerships, going to different parks and realizing, yeah, no, no, not that one. And so, but you guys, tell me about this park because this park, I want people to go and see the work that you guys are doing.
Yeah, we would love to see some people out in the community come see us. It's Inez Spring Riverfront RV Park in Eastland, Texas. And what's really cool is Eastland, Texas is a small town, guys. It's 3,600 people, but it's off one of the busiest highways in all of Texas, the I-20. And this little town has power. They have a mascot. It's Old Rip. He's a horned toad, and they have festivals, and there's wineries and breweries, and just a cute little community. Really, people welcome you in the community. We got stopped our first week here, and people were waving at us at the grocery store, like just trying to say hi. So, but that's not what this is about. The RV park that we bought it's beautiful. Sam and Dee, they built this during COVID as a way to bring community back together because we could go outside. And it slowly grew since then, and we're expanding it to 79 pads as we're here. We bought it at 54, going to 79. And we're just marketing it, right? They did no marketing. It has a 250,000 gallon, 7,000 square foot pool that is natural spring fed from the waters in the ground. So it's all natural waters coming out of the springs here. And it's just cool. It's just a cool place to gather. We have barbecue pits, it's on the river. That's why we bought it. It's you come in here and you step back into nostalgia. It's like camping
Yes.
when you're growing up. It's the s'mores by the fire. It's the gatherings, the families, the fun, the kids. It's all of those things with hiking trails. It's everything you want compacted here, just right off the highway.
Yes. I love it. And I love how it's further out west too. So that's what I really like. I like west more than the east of Texas. I know it's beautiful greenery and stuff, but I feel like the sunsets are like just a whole nother level on that side.
It's that has been incredible. So Jason and I, Corpus Christi, I love the ocean, the water. That was the fun part of it. Man, I've never seen such sunrises and sunsets as we get here at the park. And we
Yes.
watch it every day and we're astounded. And I just never knew.
Yes. Oh man. And it's beautiful because that really just shines a light on everything that you guys are building. What a beautiful time, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love
It's
it.
it's been a lot of fun for us. And this is why we love this asset class is we get to give these experiences to others, right? I think we've lost connectivity as a society. We're on our phones, we're watching TV, we don't go outside, and we want to give permission to people to play again. So,
Yes.
and give them that space.
Yes, absolutely. I think that in smaller towns and in smaller RV parks that are growing and they have the intention to grow as a unit with the people, those are something that are literally long term. You know, they're not quick, just like there's some parks where it's just come and go. But
Yeah.
here you see the effort and the people who come here. They intentionally know this is where I want to be. This is where I'm going to stay long term, right? Like, I love how there's just that community. I don't know, I've mentioned it before. That community is something else, and it's
Okay.
something so, so welcoming and so lovable that you don't want to miss out on. So, if anybody has a chance to have or just be in that type of community, definitely go for it because it is something really, really nice to have.
It's pretty incredible, and starting a business here has also been incredible. So one of the local shops, we've been getting to know the other owners in town, the business owners, and she's like, "Let's do a shared billboard. If you guys are going to advertise and bring in more tourism from Dallas because of what you have to offer, and we're so close to Dallas, like you said, we're less than 2 hours from Dallas. We want to be part of that growth with you. We want to help support our community and grow it together. So how do we partner to make that happen?"
Wow, that's
That's
amazing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
And you get to know, and they know what your tensions are, and they're very business minded just to help each other grow, right? It's not as much as the corporate world, right?
right.
Where it's very much centered around family and just seeing people succeed.
Mhm.
So I love that. Oh my goodness. If there's anything else that I just kind of want to throw out there to the listeners, something that you want to share, add, tell them, let them know what's going on in Erica's mind right now.
There's so many ways to slice this. I don't even know where to start. What I guess I would share is that what I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years is that we all have stuff that have shaped and formed who we are. And it's not what's happened to you, it's what you do with that information. And so when I look at this and I look at some of the things that I've learned through this growth is when you lean into your greatness and the things that fuel you, success follows.
Yes.
And that's really it sounds simple, but it's that simple.
Thank you so much for coming on. Listeners know how they can learn more about what you're doing and keep up with you, connect with you, even fund something later on down the road.
Yeah, so our company is Venture Vibes Fund. You can find our website at www.venturevibesfund.com. And I'm all the things social media for our couple here right now. Ms. Erika Bates is my Instagram handle, and we share everything we do. We go live, we talk about lessons learned, we show the progress on what we're working on, and we love being transparent and just giving people ideas. Because again, it's about leveling all of us up in this space to make a
Yes,
um, better experience for sellers, I would say. And I that sounds odd, but I really believe it.
absolutely. I think the most important part too is just making sure that we're protecting sellers. A lot of it. Absolutely. Knowing that what they're giving us, especially as buyers, that we're taking that, we're carrying the torch for them. We're taking care of it. Yes. Thank you again for coming on.
You're welcome.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. Please give Erica a follow. Go see what they're doing, the incredible things that they are showing and just working on right now. Go show them some love. Click the link, subscribe, like, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.